Did you hear Donald Trump yesterday? He did this big press conference at Mar-a-Lago. The art of the deal was on display. It was actually pretty funny stuff if you didn't hear it. This is a great moment. So part of this press conference that took place yesterday was to brag about this $100 billion investment that is coming from SoftBank, company out of Japan. They're investing $100 billion into the U.S. So Trump puts their CEO up on stage at the podium at Mar-a-Lago. Masayoshi Son is his name. And Masayoshi gets up there, he's talking, and then Trump says, hey, you're going to invest $100 billion. What do you say $200 billion? This is an example of the art of the deal and American exceptionalism coming back in front of our very eyes. Here we go.
To go, and we were discussing, and President Trump said, Masa, double that is not enough. Maybe, go for more, right?
That's what I'm going to ask him right now. Would you make it $200 billion and say he can actually, believe it or not, he can actually afford to do that. Would you do that?
Well, my promise is 100, but, he's now asking to do more. I think, with your leadership, my partnership with you, with your support, I will try to make it happen.
That's good.
All right.
200. He'll make it happen. 200 billion investment.
He is a great negotiator.
Masa.
He's a brilliant guy and did an unbelievable job, and the people of Japan and all over the world are very proud of him. They have tremendous respect for him. So what he does, what he just did, and I would be surprised if it didn't go to 2. And when you say you'll try, I know you'll do it.
I will really try. And I need your support, though.
You'll have my support.
All right.
You'll have our country's support.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you, Masa. Very
Fantastic.
much. Appreciate it.
Masa.
Thank
Do you want to say hello to the people of Japan who are...
There you go, Masayoshi. Now, Trump was calling him Masa. I don't know if that's like, John versus Jonathan, Pete versus Peter. I don't know. Trump was calling him Masa, but his name is Masayoshi. Son is his last name, S-O-N. And he's the SoftBank CEO in Japan. He's bringing $100 billion in investment to the U.S. He was there at Mar-a-Lago yesterday, and Trump's on the spot saying, what do you say there, $200 billion? Are you going to invest $200? It reminded me of Billy Long.
How about a Dan, 12.5, 15, $7.5, $20, $2.5, final $7.5. I yield back.
And Trump goes at the end, all right, 200, he's going to make it happen. And then Masa goes, he's a great negotiator. That Donald Trump, great negotiator. And I'm watching it in real time yesterday, and I'm like, this is awesome. There is a pride, and I don't much care if you voted for the guy or not, but there's a pride that I have for the country and watching that play out in real time that I haven't felt in years, where it's like, yeah, this is a damn great country, greatest experiment in the history of mankind, and here's our leader. I don't want to say shaking down because that's not a fair way to put it. He's not shaking the guy down. He's saying, hey, you bring your damn money to this country. You want to grow? You want to build a business? You want to have access to the greatest country with the best workers? You bring that money here, sir. That's what he's doing. And yes, it's funny. It's personable. You can get a good laugh out of it. All that's true. But then in the end, what it is when you actually look at it and analyze it, is a guy who is saying, sir, if you want your country to be exceptional, you will get your money here. And I will negotiate it with you at the podium in front of the press. And yes, there's a showman element to it, but it also provides a lot of value, and I think is a great way, as we sit here about a month out from Donald Trump getting inaugurated, and a great way to look at what the future is going to hold for this country. Where Trump also talked extensively yesterday about deregulation and how he was going to make sure for every one regulation that gets proposed, you got to find 10 that you're going to cut.
Starting on day one, we'll implement a rapid series of bold reforms to restore our nation to full prosperity. We're going to go full prosperity and to build the greatest economy the world has ever seen, just as we had just a short time ago. We had it in my term. We had the greatest economy that the world had seen. We were blowing away everybody. Our country was doubling up on China, doubling up on everybody, and everybody knows it. And then we had to slow it down with COVID, unfortunately, at the end. But even then, I gave it back with a substantial increase of the stock market, bigger than it was pre-COVID, so it was pretty amazing. Already preparations are underway to slash massive numbers of job-killing regulations, eliminating 10 old regulations for every new one. You put a new regulation on, you have to get rid of 10, and we'll be able to do it. And that was about the percentage we had. We cut more regulations than any president has ever cut by far, actually, by approximately 5 times. Some of those regulations, unfortunately, were put back on, but we'll catch up very quickly. We'll catch up with it.
We will catch up with it very quickly, he says there. And that's what it's going to take. Taking the shackles off of the economy, off of small business in particular, to make sure that they can invest, reinvest, put more money into their business, not more money into the government, make it easier, not harder to grow said businesses. That's what we're going to need. To then grow tax revenues to try to pay down some of this $36 trillion in debt that we've got out there. And I can't wait for it. And it ties into an article I saw yesterday from Victor Davis Hanson. You may recall him. He used to be on Fox a lot. When Tucker got blown out, they really stopped using him. But he's a brilliant writer, Victor Davis Hanson. He's good on TV and on radio and podcasts, but he's such a deep thinker. He's almost someone you want to read versus someone you want to necessarily listen to. But he wrote this article yesterday headlined, "Blame Barack, Obama's lost mystique marks the end of a political era." He writes here, former President Barack Obama had long been rumored as the catalyst for the 2020 Joe Biden nomination, and thereafter played the whispering puppeteer behind the subsequent lost Biden administration years. He goes on the note here, Obama and fellow Democratic insiders abruptly engineered the withdrawal of Joe Biden's rivals in 2020. The Obamas ignored or withheld from their public knowledge firsthand information that Joe Biden was suffering from signs of dementia. Instead, they found Biden's cognitive decline and his former concocted reputation as the working man's Joe useful as a veneer for Obama's third term. The Obamaites then got their wish for 4 years of enacted hard left directives that they could only have dreamed of while they were in actual power. But their radical menu since 2021 had divided and nearly wrecked the nation. Hyperinflation, 12 million illegal aliens, a ruined border, spiraling crime, a shattered foreign policy of appeasement, the popular backlash against DEI woke trans chauvinism, partisan lawfare, and weaponization of the government. And the ruling radicalism beneath the Biden facade eventually cost the Democrats nearly everything: the presidency, the House, and the Senate. And I sat there and I was reading this article, and I'll share it on social media after the fact, and I thought to myself, you know what? It really is the end of Barack Obama as this larger-than-life political figure. He now has lost to Donald Trump twice with his hand-picked candidates. He got Joe in there in 2020 using the basement mentality, knowing he wouldn't have to campaign because of COVID, and, of course, flooding the system with all the mail-in nonsense. And now there are reports that George Clooney is ticked off at Obama because Clooney put his money and credibility on the line for people like Joe Biden when he was the nominee for the re-election in 24, and then Kamala Harris. So there is a lot of consternation on that side, and there is not a lot of leadership on that side. Obama was still the perceived leader, and I guess you'd call him kingmaker of the party. It feels like after 2024, that's over. That's done with. And it should be done with. The good thing for Barack Obama, though, is that the former community organizer is going to be able to go home to one of his 4 mansions via his private jet. So he will be A-OK.